Hello everyone. In this demo, I'll show you the capabilities of the CVE Strainer tool. It is a tool aimed at network administrators and device owners that have a variety of operating systems and applications, as well as software that they want to monitor for real-time vulnerability notifications. First off, we need to begin by filling out two CSV files. For the purposes of this demo, I've already written out some information. For an example, we have Ubuntu 16.10, 18.10, and 20.10, as well as an Atlassian Confluence Data Center 1.0. Notice the 1 at the end. This is the ID of our first client. This is where our notifications will go, as all of the devices configured in the previous file will be related to this email address. There are two ways to import these files. First off, let's see the terminal way. We need to navigate to the database folder inside of the file structure. From there, we run the import.go script, which has three options. The first one specifies which database we're importing to, the second which table we're importing to, and the last which file or CSV we're importing from. Here we can see that the 4 rows in our CMDB file have been imported. We need to do the same with the client's file. Here we can see that the client was imported as well. You can also double check by going into the database itself and selecting from the tables. Here we can see all of the data was imported correctly. The next step is to actually run the CVE Strainer tool. In order to do so, we need to navigate to the scripts folder, from where we can start the tmux start modules bash script. Here at the bottom, we can see all of the tool's modules, such as the parser module, the database, correlation, notification, and query modules. We also have a web interface for good measure. Since the query module and the correlation modules have timers related to them, let's have a look at the web interface to see what's there instead. As mentioned previously, we can import data from the interface as well into the CMDB or the client's tables. Since we've already done that, I won't be doing it again. We can also export data for a specific client. For an example, we can see that this information which we just imported can be exported from here. Additionally, we can see the same information on this pane on the bottom. In terms of statistics, once we find specific CVEs, we can see them here and filter depending on whatever we need. The configuration file I mentioned previously can also be changed from the web interface. For an example, how often should the query module query its sources? How often should the correlation module query the database for findings? Which is the email that the notification should be coming out of, and the SMTP host. Lastly, we have the tool monitor, which is a way for viewing the tool's logs to see if each specific module is working as intended. We have the database module, query, parser, correlation, and notification. Here, in the notification module, we can see that emails were successfully sent. So let's check them out. Here we can see the two vulnerabilities have been identified. If there is more than one vulnerability for a specific product, it will be chained with all the other ones in the same email. We can see this happen here. Keep in mind that all vulnerabilities that have been updated in the last month will also be sent via the tool. And here we have the other vulnerability. This concludes the demo for the CVE Strainer tool.